Mo Bedard here, the Gnostic warrior, founder of the Order of the Gnostics. Wanted to share with you this video today as I go out for my morning walk on this Monday in San Diego, California. I'm going to go ahead and lock my door here. So the purpose of this video today, I wanted to share with you guys my thoughts on, what is Gnosticism and, what is the purpose, what does it mean to be a Gnostic? And, this term is thrown around by a lot of people out there, and there's a lot of different theories. And really, it comes down to a simple principle, and it's the principle of better living, of being a better human. So that's the whole idea of getting knowledge and gnosis. It's to better know thyself, to better know thy world, so you could better function in it. And that process, it deals a lot with mastering thyself. Okay, so the whole purpose to gain knowledge isn't to, gain an advantage over your fellow man. It's to help them. It's to help yourself along your path, along your journey. And that is the basis of Gnosis and Gnosticism. And we deal with, it deals with science of knowing thyself, your physical body, how it operates, the different nutrients and different things that you could do and take, supplements, etc., to make yourself. So I'm having some little reconnection issues here. I'm venturing away from my house without the Wi-Fi, so hopefully it'll be good here. Thanks for watching, everybody, and the likes and so forth. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put them forth, and I'll answer them at the end of this live broadcast. But again, my name's Mo, the Gnostic warrior, founder of the Order of the Gnostics, doing a little selfie video here as I take my morning walk. And this is one of my rituals that I do every day, and I do it for my body and to get my mind in tune, also with the work that I have to do. Just walking by some dogs here. It'll get a little bit more quiet as I get up here on the street. So again, the idea with being a Gnostic and using Gnosis is to use knowledge to be a better person, to live a better life. It really is that simple. There's no need to make it even harder than it is, because that's what it's all about. And that's what drew me to Gnosticism, was a simple way and a science of living that you could understand, and it wasn't, all allegorized and so forth. So two of the groups around right now that have the teachings of Gnosticism, actually three, would be Freemasonry, Rosicrucianism, and also Theosophy. Those are three, basically, they could call them secret societies, but organizations, brotherhoods, that have been perpetuating these Gnostic teachings for hundreds of years. The Freemasons, a lot of us know who they are. The G in Freemasonry, that stands for Gnosticism. Albert Pike had said that. Eliphas Levi had said that as well. And then also Manly P. Hall had talked about the different symbols and jewels in Freemasonry are basically the Gnostic jewels of 1,000 ages. The teachings of Freemasonry, specifically Manly P. Hall, have been some of the most influential in my own life. And I think some of you can agree that Manly P. Hall is one of the best philosophers of our age, or the Masonic philosophers, and who I consider a Gnostic. How you doing?
Good.
So anyways, just taking a little walk here. There's other people walking in town. I live in Fallbrook. It's an agricultural town. A lot of descendants of the Mexicans had lived here, and it's a great little area. Good morning. It's just about, say about 15 miles from the coast, from Oceanside and so forth. So beautiful area. I just moved here about a month ago. So where I was getting at with Freemasonry is that their teachings are based on Gnosticism, and they basically honor all the different religions. It doesn't matter, as long as you believe in God, you could be a Freemason. I'm not a Freemason myself, but I do owe a lot, I feel, to the Freemasons with the teachings that I've learned from Albert Pike to Manly P. Hall and so forth. And if you look at the teachings of Freemasonry, they basically take a good man and make him better. And that's what Gnosticism is really about. It's about taking these teachings that we're learning and then using them to make our lives better. Whatever your path may be out there, you know. So that's the whole idea. So again, one of my favorite philosophers and writers is Manly P. Hall. He, I believe, is one of the greatest sages and teachers for me and myself. I've used a lot of his stuff in the teachings of the Order of the Gnostics in my book, The Order of the Gnostics, as well. And I highly recommend to people out there, there's the Secret Teachings of All Ages. If you want to learn about ancient history, the different secret societies, the different religions and so forth, I highly recommend that you do read that book. Hello everyone, hello Alan. Thank you for watching this and sharing this. I appreciate it. These videos are something new that I'm going to be doing here on a regular basis, and they're also, good morning, they're also a form of therapy for me, to actually get in front of the camera. Yeah, hey, what's up? Sep, what's up, brother? Yeah, this is Mo talking. Again, I'm Mo, the founder of Gnostic Warrior, and also the founder of the Order of the Gnostics. My lineage, as I have said before, it goes back to the original Gnostics, 3,000 years ago, back to Pythagoras, who I believe was one of the first Gnostics. The Freemasons, they do attribute a lot of their teachings back to Pythagoras and the Pythagoreans, and then it went on to Plato from there, and then we have, of course, Aristotle and the various Greek sages through time and through history that have helped contribute. Good morning, man. So getting on a little early, or kind of a late start here on my walk. You got, of course, the gardeners out right now. They start about 8 o'clock. Anything before that, it's a little too loud, so they don't allow it. But in any event, again, my Gnostic lineage goes back to the island of Crete. And a lot of you don't know about the island of Crete, but it is one of the most holy islands and holy lands in all the world. And I'm looking to reestablish these ancient mysteries and these teachings in our modern world here in the year 2017. I feel now is the time to bring these teachings back to the world. And I'm going to help do that. And I'm going to help bring in these teachings. Okay, so in regards to Masonry, and I know a lot of you are interested in the teachings of Freemasonry, of course, of Gnosticism. Some of you are Masons out there. Some of you believe that Freemasonry is bad and so forth. And what people need to understand is that the Freemasons, from day one, the Knights Templar, all these different secret societies, the Rosicrucians, etc., they've always worked for the king. They could have never gained their charters. They could have never been free men without a charter from the king. So if you're a Freemason today, you're in a secret society, the Rosicrucians, you in part are part of the right-hand path, and that right-hand path works for the king and it serves the king of the world. I know some of you might disagree with me, but it is true. The same can be said about religions. You know, whether you're a Catholic, Roman Catholic, Greek Orthodox, any of the Abrahamic faiths, you work for the king. And, you know, all in regards to religions, a lot of people don't understand. The word means to bind. And it's not a bad word, but it is basically, it's based on race. In the old days, it was based on race, specifically Judaism, of course Islam, the Muslims, they're the descendants of Muhammad, and they follow Allah. And then we also have the Latin Church with the Catholic Church, the Universal Church, which would be the first attempt for the Brotherhood to integrate both Gentiles and who they had called Jews at the time into the church. And we can call the Jews, they would be the Greeks, the Greek Hellenes, they would be the Cretans, the Phoenicians. They were all of the different religion of the old law. And we could even throw the Gnostics in there, because the Gnostics were involved, various sects at that time. They just weren't united. And so that was the whole idea of the Universal Church today, who we know as the Catholic Church. And then we also have the various branches in the Eastern branches, which we have, of course, the Greek Orthodox Church. We have the Russian Orthodox Church, which most people don't understand. The Rus had formed an alliance with the Greeks back in about 10 AD when they had conquered the area. And it was at that time that they had established a mutual relationship through marriage, through blood, and that in turn started the Russian Orthodox Church, which you guys are going to see a lot of things happen here in the coming months, the coming years, happening from Rus and Russia. So that's again another podcast in itself. But again, the Russian Orthodox Church would be the spiritual branch for the race of the Rus. The Greek Orthodox Church would be the spiritual branch for the Greeks, and so forth. And then of course we have the Ottoman Turks, who pretty much are controlling most of Islam in the East. And that's another story in itself. I'm still learning a lot about, you know, what's going on there. But we're going to see a lot, and you're seeing a lot of stuff happen around these two superpowers. I don't know if any of you have seen the video of Erdogan going to the White House last month, Turkish president. And basically there's some protesters there in Washington, D.C. that are protesting his some things that he's doing. I think they were Turks, or they were of the Islamic faith of a different branch, and so forth. But the Turkish bodyguards literally just went and beat their ass. And the Washington, D.C. cops, they did nothing about it at the time. So it was an interesting display. You guys should watch it. It's, again, a video of the Turkish police, secret police, bodyguards of Erdogan kicking protesters' asses in Washington. So, yeah, I'm not really super familiar. Me being a Westerner here, I know a lot of you guys out there that might be part of the, you know, Islamic faith, or you're from the Eastern countries, or know what more is going on there. I don't know the different sects and so forth. All I do know is that the Ottomans still exist, a Neo-Ottoman Empire, and Erdogan is the heir to that, as is Putin, would be the president of the Rus and that tribe. So I'm going off into politics again. I don't know why I always go into that area, but it's an important part of what we're going to see happening here in the coming years, the coming decades. And you might be going, you know, why is this happening? Why is Mo saying that these religions, these powerful entities are going to be a part of it. Again, I'm going to read some of your statements and your comments and questions here in a second. I want to kind of get through my thoughts, but there were some people that made a comment the other day, and they were like, you know, what does religion have to do with it? You know, what does that have? It has everything to do with it, because religion has to do with race, and religion has to do with the battle that has been fought on earth for the last 3,000 years. So it has everything to do with it. In Russia, the Russian Orthodox Church, the patriarch Kirill, he literally sits right next to Putin, and he is an advisor to Putin on religious and spiritual matters. So they have a huge play in what's going on there. It is a marriage of church and state in that country. I'm not familiar with everything that's going on, but you definitely can see that they definitely put religion, the Christian religion, as a pillar for the new Russian society. And you also may have seen a speech recently by Donald Trump, and this was made in Warsaw, Poland, and he's talking about God and faith, and the Western culture has been built on the Christian religion, and he's right. Where's this getting at? I think we're going to have some serious things happen here in the coming years, maybe sooner rather than later, that deal with religion and the final religious battles of these superpowers, getting rid of their foes or any detractors that might be in the way of this one world empire, this one world religion based on Judaism, the Abrahamic faiths. This has been going on, as I said, for 3,000 years. And it hasn't ended. No one's forgot anything, you know, and they're not going to forget anything. So I believe, based on my studies, Russia, they're called the Third Rome, the New Jerusalem, and so forth. They have, if you look at their symbols on their flag and everything, you could see that it's clear as day. Signs and symbols rule the world, not words or laws. I do believe, of course, laws help rule the world, but the symbols say a lot of what really is going on. So I know I'm going off into a tangent of, you know, what is going on in the world again. That's one of the things I like to do, is I like to kind of figure out what really is going on, you know, as opposed to what we're being told in the media with propaganda and so forth. So that's kind of my take on the current political situation. What's this have to do with Gnosticism? It has everything to do with it, guys. You know, a Gnostic we seek to understand the world, what is going on in the world, whether it be with media, whether it be the politicians, who's ruling over us, what's going on, so we could prepare ourselves, our families, for what is to come. And that's a huge part of being a human in this world. For now, I'm just using this knowledge to stay put. I'm gonna kind of document things, and hopefully what I say is not dangerous or disrespectful to the powers that be. And you're like, Mo, why do you care? Because I do care about what's going on in the world today, and I don't want to do anything to endanger myself or my family. Go ahead. And some of this stuff is serious stuff, but I also feel this is the apocalypse. A good friend of mine, Michael Jaco, he calls this the Renaissance. The apocalypse is basically a name that means the unveiling of the truth. We've been living somewhat in a dark age, kind of commingled with the light, and where, you know, lies are truth and truth are lies. And I feel that a lot of these truths are being revealed out there also in the media with what's going on with Russia and so forth. And being a Gnostic, I mean, I have an interest in this because, you know, I've been involved with the various religions from the beginning back in Crete with my family, my ancestors, who I believe helped form the Judaic religions on Crete in Judea, not present-day Israel. I don't know exactly how that formed, but that would be a sister city to the original Judea, which would be Mount Ida on Crete. And a lot of people don't know that. Crete is the original heavenly homeland. It's the land of milk and honey. It's the land where Moses was given the tablet of the laws. It's where most of the saints have been buried and their bones rest. And their stories cry to be heard. A lot of you will look at me and say I'm crazy, but Knossos is the town, the city where the Gnostics had first originated. Knossos on Crete, the oldest city in Europe, where most all the archaeologists, historians know that Western civilization had started. It was on Crete, in a town called Biblios, where the first Bible was written and papyrus documents were invented. This is where they found the linear A and B, C tablets with the first writing known before the Greek, Latin, Phoenician script. Very powerful, important island, Crete, the island that gets its name from creation. That's essentially where I come from, my family has originally come from, and then we've been all over the world and so forth. So the reason I'm very interested in the religious wars and the things that have been going on is I've been involved in the very beginning as a priest and so forth. I have birthmarks that actually match many of the sages back then, like Pythagoras. He had a white birthmark on his thigh. I also have a white birthmark, and back then they were known as Cain marks, king marks, the mark of Cain. I would be a Canaanite as well. Various different names had described my tribe, my people, the Philistines. We ended up teaming up with King David and Israel, who Israel, most people don't know, is Egypt. That's where the Abrahamic faiths had originated. Abraham, another name for Egypt. And then it went into Judea, which would be the island of Crete, where we had teamed up with Israel, and then eventually it would form other nations and so forth from there. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and try to answer those now. Thank you for the likes out there. I'm pretty much done for my walk. I got to get ready for work today. I try to do a little walk, get the body moving before I go sit on the computer for hours at a time and have my breakfast and so forth. Thank you for sharing the videos, everybody out there. If you could share more, the likes and so forth. I'm going to see if I can answer some of these questions. Well, in regarding to the Masonic lodges, my understanding is that there's been various people in power throughout time, and it was about the 17th century that the Jesuits had come into power of the Masonic lodges. And a lot of the world today, this was actually the first Renaissance, was when the Jesuits came into power. And they actually took out my family, who was in Paris at the time. We had a dispute with King Henry VIII, and it was in France, in Paris, France, that we had this dispute. And this dispute ended up with King Henry dissolving all the monasteries and taking all our lands and kicking us out of the country. My family ended up in France, or excuse me, not in France, in Canada, the New France they called it, because we were exiled from that lands and we started a new life. And that's when the Renaissance came, interestingly enough. I don't know exactly how my family, or what my family was doing. We were part of the Catholic Church back then. And then again, had a dispute with King Henry VIII at the time, and then he ended up dissolving all the monasteries and then taking all our lands, and he invaded Ireland, and all kinds of different things had happened. But it was at that time that the Freemasons were pretty much taken over, and it was transferred, I'd say the main lodges, to Russia and Germany at that time. And that's where we get essentially the double-headed eagle. So since the 17th century, the Jesuits have been in control of Freemasonry, in my opinion. And that was under Catherine the Great, the Russian queen at the time. And she reinstituted the Jesuits, who at the time were kicked out of almost every country. And they ended up taking over the reins of Freemasonry, and that's when a lot of the teachings were changed. But that's also where it gets us to now, to where we live in this world now, and we could talk. And much of America was founded by the Jesuits and the Freemasons, who were working hand in hand together, of course, with the church at that time. So, you know, this country was founded by the church and by Freemasons, who were working for the king, who had said, if you're in religion, you're a priest. If you're a Freemason, you're working for the king, whether you know it or not. And there's nothing bad about that. You know, what I like to do is I like to know exactly who I'm working for, what I'm doing. I just don't like to go around blindly serving things I don't know. So, in any event, if you guys have any questions before I go, please let me know. If not, I'll do my best to try to answer any questions you guys have down here in the comments. This is my house I'm leasing here in beautiful Fallbrook, California. A beautiful day today, about 80 degrees. Going to get to work now. Got to do my computer work, and you know, I'm going to do a workout later on my body. I try to mix out, as far as the physical activity goes, I try to mix in about a walk, 2 walks a day, and then also a workout. And then I'm trying to lose about 10 pounds that I've gained from sitting too much on the computer. So to be a Gnostic, as I had mentioned, is to use this knowledge that we're learning and use it for your life. And they call that in Gnosticism praktikosos. And that's where we get the word practice. And you use these different teachings that you learn to make rites and rituals to become habits. And then you practice them. You practice them, and then they become habits, and they become part of who you are. And so that's the whole idea of using knowledge, is to use them to better your life, whether it be knowledge on nutrition, knowledge on physics, knowledge on astrology, etc. They are all different branches of knowledge that we use to better our lives. So anyways, again, this is Mo, the Gnostic Warrior. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Love you all. Peace.